Hello everyone, it's Chris. Hope you're in the best of your life. I know that I am. So I want to talk about, as I smoke my cigar, the aroma, bliss, essence. I love it. Been a great time, and so something I've been doing because I'm trying to cut down on stimulants, but I still enjoy them. Is I have a half calf, half decaf coffee. This way, I get way less caffeine, but also I still get the enjoyment of having my coffee in the morning, or I just do decaf. But this depends. I feel it out. I try to have caffeine every other day. I know decaf has like 5 milligrams, so whatever. Um, but I was saying, so something about doing hard things. So especially if you are a young guy, whatever else it is, or any person. But I can only speak from my experience again. But if you have something to do, you just have to do it. You don't think for the right psychological moment. Don't wait for the right time. There's never a right time. It's like having a child. If every guy's been married, had a child, their first child, they're like, whoa, like, oh, like you're never quite fully ready, right? But you embrace it, you embrace the responsibility, you do it. And so whether it's something like starting a business, whether it's something like looking for a new job, whether it's something like learning to run a marathon, becoming an athlete, whatever it may be, there's never a right time. You have to do it. So I have a story. So I have a close friend of mine, close brother. This guy is an incredibly stone cold killer of a business person, of a gentleman. He is very successful at a young age as well, and incredibly driven, which is also why we are best friends. But speaking of my friend, he had an issue with alcohol, and he also had an issue with obesity for a while in his 20s. He was angry and upset and different things during his 20s for a lot of it. And what he did was, especially when COVID hit, I remember we had a phone call. It was a Zoom call, actually. I was actually making a painting for him, for his office. And we're talking, and he does, Chris, I'm a fat slob. I need to do better. Would you please hold me accountable? I said, yes, sir. And immediately, with the intensity of a shark, he went and began training for Ironmans. And he went from this big old boy to like an athlete. Like he slimmed down. He lost an incredible amount of weight. Now the guy in his 30s is in the best shape of his life, looks better than he ever looked, is happy, he's accomplishing, doing huge things in his career. Everything else is so impressive. In fact, he's running an Ironman today, which I'll be joining him for one this time next year or in 6 months. We'll see which one comes first. A whole 6 months, but I'll probably be next year just because I'm so busy there. But I'll be doing one with him. But he is running one. But big thing about getting in shape or whatever, it's never the right time. You never feel like it. You just have to force yourself to do it and embrace it fully. And especially in business, if you want to stay in business, you have to be willing to adjust, change on a moment's notice. But also, you have to have the guts to stick to something through the hard and through the good times. Because there's good times and there's bad times. It's part of life. But your job is to be tenacious all the time and be powerful. And that's how you do it. So all the time for work for me, there's things I don't want to do, things that scare me, whatever, but I force myself to do it. And what happens is your comfort zone gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then your ability to act, despite of fear, disbelief, or anything else, becomes smaller and smaller. And larger, larger. And you can act, you can do amazing things all the time. And that's you become a go-getter. And that's where just like you just get stuff done. It's the same thing like I know all the time, especially when I was younger, talk to young guys all the time, like, oh my gosh, like, I just want to meet this girl and maybe she likes me, whatever. And then and so I remember my friends would hate me because whenever they talk about their girl problems, I would just go talk to the girl. It's like, hey, how's it going? I'm Chris. How are you? How's your day going? And like, they'd be like, oh, you can just talk to her? That's crazy. But it's because I don't always just take action. And it's the same way business-wise. Even business-wise for my business, the way I grew my karate school was because I'd solicit. I'd just go up to people and say, hey, how's it going? I'm Chris. Can I give you a free pass to my karate school? What's your name? What's your number? When do you want to come in? And that's how I grew a school with like 250 students as a teenager because I had that tenacity and drive, but not because I didn't have a fear, but because I taught myself to always act despite of my fear. And that's how you learn to be a man. And so everything you do, you want to have that ferocious tenacity and go about life in that manner. That's how you become successful. That's how you influence others. That's how you help people do great things with their lives. That's why I also love my cigar, because my cigar is my reward for all my bold action. In fact, the way I use cigars, I'll say, unless I hit this number, I will not have a cigar until I've hit this number. I will not have a cigar until I've accomplished this business goal. So that means it may be weeks without one. So I must hit these numbers, have my cigar as my reward. And that's powerful in my mind because I love this so much. I will do anything on my cigar. I'm not addicted, but this is my moment of pleasure and bliss. But if I am, who cares? But whatever. But accomplish, take action, whether they feel like it or not. That's become man. Anyway, gentlemen, I love you all. Any war stories you can share? Anything in your life that helped you tremendously? I know the biggest thing for me was I was thrown out of the house when I was 17. Had to live on my car, and I started my business not because I wanted to, but because I knew I needed something to make an incredible income. I knew I also needed a career with a real future in it. And so that's why I stuck to my career, even though there were easier options. And it was badass, by the way. But besides that, anyway, gentlemen, share a war story. What have you accomplished? What's an amazing thing you'd like to share with the world? Again, this isn't for gloating. This is for inspiration, to inspire others, help other people hit their goals. Again, not to be full of myself. This is to encourage you. Anyway, love you all. For the best of your life, I am Chris. All right, bye-bye.